Hey, welcome to Integrative Preparedness. I am Steve Smith. First off, before I get into collapse of the healthcare system, which I'm going to give you all a little bit of inside information on that, not as much as I'm going to in about a month, but stuff that I think you need to know and be aware of so you can prepare for it. I want to say a couple of other things. First off, welcome to all of the new people, both on YouTube and on Patreon. The channel continues to grow at a surprising rate. I love having you all here. You'll find for you newer people that they got a lot of sharp people here, and I always claim to have the smartest commenters and viewers on YouTube. You know, there may be some that want to argue with me about that. That's okay. It'll be a friendly argument, but I will hold with my position, because if you will look at the comments down here, both on YouTube and on Patreon, you're going to see some extremely smart people expanding on what I've covered, and it's well worth your time to do that. There was a mistake made this morning. There was a video put up that was only supposed to be on Patreon, and it was up for several hours before I discovered it and took it back down. So it is available on Patreon now, not available here on YouTube. There's a number of things, and there's going to be a lot more of those things as we get into, shall we say, more challenging times, that it's more appropriate to keep them only on Patreon. For the new people who want to know the difference, everything that I put on YouTube also goes on Patreon, but there's a lot over there that doesn't. I put up not just my own videos, but things from around the world, and things that I think are important to understand, historical and contemporary, about where we're going, what things are going on in the world, what things are going on in our country, what you might want to expect. Strategies, tactics, techniques, knowledge that you might want to develop and master in order to be able to do well in more challenging times. If you're serious about it, I invite you, I suggest, I cajole you, come over to Patreon. It's only $1 a month, and you're going to get a lot more information over there. That is not just general preparedness, it is about specifics. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there for now. Seemed like there was something else that I was going to say. If I think about it, I'll get back to it. The healthcare system is in a nosedive. It's going into its collapse. It's not being covered. It's only being covered a little bit by the news. And you need to be aware of what's going on. As many of you know, I work in the healthcare system. I am refusing to take their little bug bite that they want everybody to take. I've told them it's sayonara. I'm gonna let them fire me at the end of October, only because I want a piece of that big lawsuit that's coming down the road, when all this fighting that we're now starting to see, all this pushback, finally gains momentum. And a lot of these companies that are trying to play hardball with their employees are going to find out the big mistake they made. They think they're sitting pretty high right now. They're pretty important. They come on and they make videos to their employees, and they send out emails, and they're very arrogant and very superior, and it's an authoritarian thing. They like to boss people around, apparently, and they do so from extremely limited information. Let me put that too. There's nothing. There's nothing like watching, arrogant ignorance. Some people know so little about something as they pass on information that they've gotten from above then, that they expose themselves, but they don't see it, and everybody else does. Anyway, as I've said before, I'm in the security department of a very large healthcare system, have been for almost 13 years. Going to be leaving within a month. Can't wait. I've just about had it with many things. I'll just leave it there because I'm saving a lot. I'm saving a lot for when I'm gone. I look forward to that. It's kind of like looking forward to Christmas, right? The hospitals are hemorrhaging some of their best people. At the system where I work, a majority of their CRNs, which is their critical resource nurses, the top nurses, those, the very top, the ones they call when they need the best, the ones that I know personally and beyond from what I hear from them, they're almost all leaving. Many of them have already left. Others are waiting to be fired at the end of October. Just because, like I say, we're waiting. There's going to be some horrendous lawsuits come out of this, and somebody said when I told somebody in my chain of command what I was doing, they said, "Well, you're going to let them buy your lake house, aren't you?" Yes, I am. These people get big ideas, and they don't realize that their inexperience has led them astray. Anyway, when I walk into the hospital now, I see a whole lot of new faces, and these are not experienced faces. So many of it's almost like being in a strange place that I've never been before. The experienced people are gone. The ERs are full. They're packed. They're sticking people in the hallways. Their rooms are all full. They got beds in the hallways with people in them, and then they have a waiting room that is just packed. People waiting to get a bed in a hallway. This is trying to be managed by new nurses. Now, they may not be new as far as a totally new nurse is concerned, but they're new to the system. They don't know. They don't have a team esprit de corps. They're a bunch of you know how important that is in a critical situation to have a team that knows how to work together. Essentially, what you're having now is a bunch of individuals. I've had so many nurses, senior nurses, come to me in the last month, either in tears or close to in tears, telling me that they couldn't imagine what had happened. That they didn't want to leave nursing because they loved nursing, but they were going to. There's people that have been in this for 20 years now looking for other jobs, or totally non-healthcare jobs, because they have had it with healthcare organizations. They haven't had it with healthcare. They like treating people, but they have had it with healthcare organizations buckling under the directives coming from on high on those people who think they are our leaders. Well, actually, they think they are our tyrants. Hopefully they will find out differently here soon. We'll see about that. But these people are leaving in droves, and what that means is that healthcare delivery locations are becoming a lot more iffy. I won't say yet that they're dangerous. I don't know. I think it could be approaching that point. But they are being a place that I would not want to be. I'll just put it that way. Unless I got an arm hanging off by a thread of skin, I don't want to go into a hospital right now. And from what I hear, now a lot of these hospitals have not necessarily gone along with this mandate. They're trying to fight it, and that's good. We're seeing a lot of them rise up and try to fight. Whether they'll be successful or not, I don't know. That remains to be seen. But the more pushback that they get, not just from others in healthcare, but who they get in business and the groups that are rising up, that's going to play a large part as to whether their pushback is successful. Because who's pushing all this stuff, unless they see a strong pushback, they're not going to back up. They're not going to stop. They're going to come forward with these mandates, and people are going to hurt. what I'm finding interesting is the difference in people, and this is an important shakeup too with life. I mean, we've all seen this. I've been interested to see how many people are leaving, and how many people are just saying shove it. And I'm amazed, and I'm pleased at how many there are of that. It's going to cripple a lot of these hospitals, to be real honest. I'm also amazed to see and gratified to see how many of those who accepted this procedure are quitting because they object to the way those who have not are being treated. They have seen these systems have shown what they care about, and it's not about patients, and it's not about their employees. It's about money. All of this is being driven by money. Okay, and we all know, money is behind pretty almost everything, right, in this world today, except maybe love, and we know God, but they have seen, finally the mask has come off. That's a funny term, right? We've taken off their mask, those who want us to mask up for everything, and we see who they really are, and they're nothing but a bunch of charlatans and a bunch of money grubbing people who will do anything for the next bonus from Uncle Sugar. And they're getting a lot of money out of this situation. They are getting millions of dollars off of this charade. They're going to keep it going if they can. So I'm very gratified to see those people who, even though they have gotten the jab, they are quitting because they're disgusted with the system. And so that's a whole another layer of people. And this, for the most part, these are also among the best. So you are losing. I would almost say that the hospitals are losing a majority of their best. And they're filling them up with new nurses and inexperienced people that would scare you if you were around them. But they'll do what they're told, and that's what these places want. Now, next on that, and this shows us about people too. Next are the people who made a lot of noise about, I'm not doing it, I'm not taking it, this is the mark, or this is the this is the this is the that, and are taking it. When a situation comes along that allows you to show what you're made of or what you're about, that's when you show it. These things don't come along very often. They really don't. It's easy to stand up against the little stuff as it comes along. Sometimes these people do, but all of a sudden something big comes along. And they break. They break down. And they will find a reason. They'll find an excuse. But to those of you who are still kind of considering, I would say this. These are the things that show what you are. So, whatever you do, that's what people are going to see you are. And then, of course, there are those who go along with everything, and they're the little minions of the system. And they're not there for the most part with the right reasons. They're there for the money and to do what they're told, and that makes it even more dangerous. Because what they're being told to do, again, I'm going to talk about more of this when I'm gone. What they are being told to do is, in many cases, how should I say this? I'll just leave it real light for now. It's not the right thing to do. You don't want them doing it to you. Okay, how about that? Beyond the healthcare system. So the lesson on this is, if you don't have to go to a hospital, don't. If you're about to lose lose your health insurance, even if you're not, I would suggest you get in to get whatever work done you need or tests done right now. Get it done while there are still some experienced people in this system, because it's not going to be long and you're going to see a system that looks a lot like the Soviet system, where people don't care. It's all about money. It's nothing but a horrendous paperwork nightmare. And you're not going to get good results in a timely fashion. It's not like the healthcare system that was built over the last 100 years by dedicated doctors, nurses, and who were held to account by their patients, right? Not going to be like that anymore until there is a real reversion of these things. Same things happen with police. We see that across the country. So many of the good ones have already left, and more now are leaving over these mandates. They're going to be gone. So what happens in the cities, even in the smaller areas, what happens when the best decide they're not going to do it and they're not going to be there anymore? And all of a sudden, the police that you need, they're not coming. The fire department you need, they're not coming. The EMS crew you need, they're not coming. Okay, the hospital you need is more like prison health care than what we've been used to. What are you going to do? This is a call to not only be prepared, but a call to understand that this is the perfect time for pushback. If there was ever time to start making noise, to start talking about it, to push back on that stuff, this is it. If you've watched what's going on in Australia, and I put a lot of that over on Patreon, I suggest you watch it. You watch what's going on there. You watch what's going on in England. Watch what's going on in France. There is a worldwide upheaval of people starting to understand what's going on, accepting it, should I say. It's always been a mind game, but it's easy to push off that threat and make it a mind game instead of accepting and understanding that it's reality. Well, this stuff is reality, and it's coming home, and it's coming home fast. So these are the times to get super, if there is such a thing, super prepared. We know about the supply chain problems. If you're going to need it in the next year or two, better go get it if you can afford it. Make sure that you take care of your health care needs as quickly as possible, and I suggest you start learning how to take care of things the old way, because people lived until their 90s generations ago, right? Unless living in the wild, living on a farm, ranch, that's dangerous work. But if they weren't out there doing the dangerous stuff, they lived ripe old lives, and they ate a diet that's much different than your doctor is probably telling you to follow. So anyway, go back, study the old ways, simplify your life, find your fulfillment in things that are different than you find it in now. A lot of what people think they're being fulfilled in is just busyness. It's just filling up your life with things to do, and really that robs you of a lot of quality time of self-reflection and concentrating on the things that matter, and concentrating on your family, and thinking about the issues that are truly important, as opposed to having to get this done and that done and this done and that done. Okay. Anyway, that's my thought for today. It is serious. It is coming. The healthcare system is collapsing, and it's a snowball that like a snowball does. The farther it gets down a hill, more snow it picks up, and it gets bigger and it goes faster. And pretty soon it's going to crash down at the bottom of the hill, and you don't want to be in that when it happens. So do your best to stay out of the system. Do your best to get out of the system. And be self-sufficient as you can. Bring the people together that are like-minded. Discuss with them on a daily basis what's going on. Support each other. Get each other's ideas. Share your ideas with others, and share your ideas with us. Like I said, smartest viewers on YouTube right here, and our new people. Now, see, you guys, now you have a responsibility. Do you feel the pressure to put down some particularly brilliant thoughts down there in the comments for all the new people? Anyway, I'll probably be back tomorrow, maybe tonight with something else. I've got a whole list of things that I need to talk about. And like I say, get over to Patreon for the extra stuff, because it's stuff that will really help you. And until then, remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. And boy, there's nothing in the preparedness spectrum, on the preparedness spectrum, that you shouldn't be working on tightening up or growing right now. So I'll talk to you all later. Bye-bye.